Over the last couple of weeks, I've been doing videos talking about Manchester United's redevelopment plans for Old Trafford, whether to build a new stadium, whether to completely upgrade and build a brand new stadium, the costings, the issues in trying to rebuild, and everything else involved in the finances of these deals. For the first time since taking over at Manchester United with his 25% stake in the club, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been speaking about Old Trafford and the redevelopment of the surrounding area and the possibility of a new stadium. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what Sir Jim Ratcliffe's preferences are now he has opened up on it for the first time. Is it a new stadium? Can we redevelop Old Trafford? Where does his thoughts lie on everything? And obviously making the most money out of a new stadium / Old Trafford to actually fund Manchester United and Ineos's project going forward. This is Forever United TV. Welcome along to the video, everybody. I'm Adam. Make sure you get your comments in below on everything we're talking about here in this video today. Please also give the video a like and do subscribe if you are tuning in for the first time. So, what did Sir Jim Ratcliffe say in this interview yesterday? Amongst everything, including the players, the manager, all of the staff coming in, the recruitment side of things at Manchester United, hot topic right now, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe called this the second most important point for Ineos going forward. That is of the stadium and the rebuild. Carrington was put on the back burner by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He said it wasn't as important. He actually likes Carrington, the training ground. Maybe we can improve that a little bit, but the most important thing right now is the playing staff. And secondly, the stadium. The stadium needs complete renovation. It's old, it's tired. It isn't, well, he didn't say it isn't fit for purpose, but in other words said he would probably look towards more building a new stadium. He has brought in, or he's trying to bring in, we'll find out about this in time, obviously, but Gary Neville, former Manchester United player, very outspoken amongst Manchester United fans, giving his opinion on everything Manchester United. Very outspoken also on the Glazers and their ownership. Obviously, Sir Jim Ratcliffe in this interview didn't go into much detail on the Glazers or going as far as to say they have run the club badly and let Old Trafford decay and get to the state it is now. We've all seen the videos of the leaking roof at Old Trafford near the South Stand and where all of the dignitaries and execs would actually be sitting. So I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe is looking towards the easier option. Now, looking at the 2-year plan that's been going on and all the conversations regarding Old Trafford, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is looking at an on-site new stadium, 90-seater, capacity 90-seater, brand spanking new stadium, which can house every single sporting event possible, including concerts and other events. Manchester United can obviously make their money from that as well, and it would be profitable for the club. He is into the government for the levelling up scheme, going as far as to say taxpayers in the north are being mistreated compared to taxpayers in the south. The National Stadium for rugby is in the south, the National Stadium for tennis in the south, and of course Wembley, hence the Wembley of the North comment from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. The National Stadium, of course, for the international team, women and men's team, is in the south as well. Why are there no facilities up north? So Jim Ratcliffe wants it to be king of the north. He wants to be king of the north and bring every single sporting event possible to Manchester United. Where does every team go when they're in a semi-final or a final of the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup? They have to all trim down south. He's gone as far as saying that all the European success over the last 2 decades have all been from teams in the north. We've contributed to the Premier League and putting English football on the map. Liverpool, City, Manchester United, of course. What's happened in London? 2. That's it. Yet the capital gets all of the gains from all of the national sports, and it isn't spread around. We've seen international football spread across the country now for a number of years until Wembley was built, but since Wembley has been built, it has been pretty restricted to just seeing England at Wembley. And his angle on it is that the taxpayers of the north, the northern folk as we are called, have to traipse all the way down to London every time there's a major event on. If you want to see England, if you want to see a semi-final, a final, it's always down south, and he's more unfortunate. He's gone as far as to say the nail network and the investment from the government has now stopped. That was supposed to speed things up from London to Manchester. That's now been cancelled as well. So, in theory, does Jim Ratcliffe have a point? Does he have a point in saying that there needs to be more facilities up north for big major events? Obviously, you're going to have your negative sayers. You're going to have the people that are doubting him saying, well, he just doesn't want to put his hand in his own pocket and spend. He has said he's all too willing to spend his own money on Manchester United. But he sees this as an opportunity to use his position of power now at Manchester United to try and use the levelling up scheme with the government investments, everything like that to help push this forward. Is he being clever? Is he being a little bit snide? Obviously, I want to get your comments on this as well. But in terms of King of the North, in terms of Wembley of the North, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is making his case very, very clear. And he is going to keep pushing it. He said he is going to put the accelerator down in terms of putting everything forward for United now. The development of the playing staff, especially the infrastructure of Manchester United. What's going to happen around Old Trafford or the new Old Trafford, whatever it may be called? Are we going to get the so-called five-star hotel? Are we going to get better fan parks? There was even a development option for Manchester United to redevelop Old Trafford and have a fan park on the roof, a new roof of Old Trafford. A 3-year project for a new stadium, or an ongoing 5 to 10 year project to redevelop Old Trafford while we're still playing in the season and taking away the attendance and more money from Old Trafford and Manchester United's finances for match days and everything else that comes along with it. Is that going to hamper United? Is this why we're pushing towards the new stadium? Well, to finish up and round up what, and until we find out the actual announcement of what is going on, the clear signs are that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants a new stadium. He wants the Wembley of the North. What it will be called in time, we do not know. But his preference is very, very clear. In his first interview with the British media, he said he wants a new stadium. He thinks United need best in class. Best in class off the pitch, best in class on the pitch. And that means a brand new spanking stadium right next to Old Trafford. And what happens to the old girl? What happens to Old Trafford then? Apparently, within these plans, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is looking to redevelop Old Trafford into a stadium for the women's team and maybe even the under-21s team. We will see in time, and obviously that announcement now looks like it's going to be coming ever closer now that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is talking and the whole ratification situation is put to bed. It is full steam ahead for Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Let me know what you think, guys. Drop your comments in below. King of the North, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Should we be having more major events here in the North? Should United be using their position right now and that levelling up scheme to actually scrape a bit off the side in terms of finances? Should we be taking advantage of what is out there? Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to. Should we be on board with this? We're getting close to that decision now. New stadium or Old Trafford? Tick-tock, tick-tock. The time is coming, guys. It's going to be hard for a lot of United fans, but I think this decision ultimately, in the end, is going to be taken out of our hands. So Jim seems keen. We'll see what happens over the next few days. Like, share and subscribe to Forever United TV. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll be back later in the next one.